Welcome to Company Showcase, an advertising feature on HowStreet.com.
I'm Jim Goddard. We're chatting with Jim Pettit, President and CEO of Aben Resources Limited. Jim, can you tell us a bit about Aben Resources?
Absolutely. Just a quick background on the capital structure, I guess, would be a good place to start. There's 30 million shares out and 50 million fully diluted. It's a gold mining or gold exploration company situated in BC, Saskatchewan, and the Yukon with 3 different projects. The key to each one of these projects is they're in areas that are becoming extremely popular. The first one being the Forest Curve project in the Golden Triangle of British Columbia. We're right in the heart of it and surrounded basically by all the work that's going on up there. There's SK Creek and Snip, and got Galore Creek, Copper Canyon, Shaft Creek, Pretium, KSM. They're all around us. And then in Saskatchewan, got a project that is just on the southern border of the new Silver Standard property. They've just bought the CP and Santoy mines deposits off of Cloud Resources. And that's right on a huge structure that runs north-south through Saskatchewan, and we're just on the southern border, and we've got a project that's virtually drill-ready there as well. And then up in the Yukon, we've got a project I've had there for probably 6 years now, when the Yukon was flying high, and it's situated right next to Golden Predator. They're 3 aces, and part of their property adjoins ours. So there's lots of company, actually extremely good company. And I think when you're out there exploring, you want to have projects that have a fair amount of history behind them. And that's basically what we've got. We've got these projects that have got lots of history. We've had to do data compilations and that sort of thing over the last year on the Saskatchewan and BC properties, the Justin up in the Yukon. We were the original guys up there. We drilled 12 holes way back then and hitting 10 out of 12, and we want to go back up this year and do more.
Who are the people involved in the projects?
Well, my chairman is Ron Nedolinsky, who many people know, especially from his background in the Golden Triangle area. He discovered the Snip mine and was in on SK Creek. He actually has another company called Skeena, but he's been the chairman of Aben for several years now, especially since we got active up in the Yukon. Tim Termundi, who also has a company called Eagle Plains. They're a project generator. But he also cut his teeth as a young geologist up in this Golden Triangle area with Ron, actually. And then we've got advisors that are helping the board. Henry Omack, who actually was one of the underlying owners of one of the properties that I've optioned, and Mike Roberts, who's the head geo of one of the properties I've optioned. They've got a huge history. So I think between those 4 guys, I've probably got close to 100 years of experience up in this area.
Where exactly are your projects?
Well, the British Columbia property, Golden Triangle's in the northwest quadrant of British Columbia, just north of Stewart. Very, very strong historic region for very high-grade developments. You can go way back to the Premier Mine in Grand Duke. They kind of kicked it off, the area out of Stewart, and then as you work your way north, you've got areas now that are, that's the Snip, that's SK, Valley of the Kings areas right there. That's one of the most preeminent exploration areas in the country right now. It equates to what's going on in Quebec as far as money being spent. Saskatchewan, center of Saskatchewan, just south of the Athabasca Basin, is where our Saskatchewan project is. It's called the Chico project. Like I said, that's drill ready. That's an area that's been well known for many years, but relatively underexplored. There hasn't been the amount of attention because people just don't, they don't associate the middle of the prairies to a greenstone belt. But it's a good, strong greenstone belt, and there's a really great deposit there, and that Silver Standard just paid $340 million for. $340 million. And then you've got up in the Yukon, it's right near the eastern border. I would call it the southeast quadrant of the Yukon. right off the hauling road that that runs up. It's the Nahanni Range Road that runs up to Canadian Tungsten. And that's where Golden Predator's also working, and they just raised $17 million to do their summer program. We're going to be looking to do a smaller program than that, but, that's the right area.
What does the timing look like?
The timing for these, it's kind of going to be staged. Like, we can't get up into the northwest quadrant of BC in the Golden Triangle. We'll probably start there mid-June. I would think that would be the earliest. And then you've got pretty much a 6-month window of opportunity. So prior to that, Saskatchewan will be starting up an initial IP geophysical survey before we drill, and that should be within 4 weeks. And then that'll be followed by a drill program. The Yukon, again, it'll be, because we're a little bit higher elevation than where Golden Predator is, so I would suggest we'll be waiting till May, maybe into June for that, and then that'll give us another 6-month window of opportunity there.
Jim, is there anything else you'd like to add to today's presentation?
Well, actually there is. I was reading an interesting article in a BC Business magazine, or it's a newspaper, and it's about the mining industry and where BC fits into it all right now. And I read something I'd never heard of before, but it states that BC, not Ontario, is the province with the largest significant gold deposits, according to an SNL Metals and Mining report last year. This report pegs BC as the richest region in the world for initial gold resources, estimating the province's buried wealth at roughly 3 to 4 times the size of Ontario's. I thought that was incredible.
Of course, too, you're doing business in Canada. We've heard of some tremendous discoveries in Africa recently, but you don't have civil wars popping up every 10 minutes.
No, I don't. I did this on purpose. I've learned over the years. You want to be in mining-friendly areas. I mean, Ron Nedolinsky, where he's cut his teeth, is BC, Saskatchewan. And, like he sold Brett Resources to Osisko a while back. I sold my Ontario project to New Gold. But this is my first real foray into BC, and I'm actually liking it quite a bit. There's a lot of new infrastructure that wasn't around up in that region, the Golden Triangle, 30 years ago.
Your stock symbol?
Stock symbol is ABN.V.
And it's traded on which platforms?
The TSX and the OTC U.S. markets, ABN AF. How
can people contact the company?
People can go to the website, which is abenresources.com, or they can call 604-687-3376 or 1-800-567-8181 and ask for Don Myers or myself.
Is there an email contact?
You can contact me at jpettit@sentinelmarket.com.
Jim, thank you so much for the update.
You bet.
We were speaking on March 21st. My guest, Jim Pettit, President and CEO of Aben Resources Limited. I'm Jim Goddard.
Comments made on Company Showcase are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any manner whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Archived online at HowStreet.com. Company Showcase is a production of How Street Media Incorporated.